Much to the relief of the MMA community, and especially those close to him, Stewart Syko Stu Smith has regained consciousness after the alleged attack by Raja Jackson earlier in the week. The news came as a positive development following days of concern, since Smith had sustained serious head injuries that left him hospitalized. A photo was shared by his friends and family from his hospital bed, showing him smiling despite the severity of his condition. This image quickly spread online, offering reassurance to fans who had been worried about his health. While Smith is now in stable condition and resting, it was emphasized that his injuries remain significant and his recovery process is still ongoing. The incident itself drew considerable attention, not only because of the shocking nature of the alleged attack, but also because of the figures involved, as Raja Jackson is connected to the legendary Rampage Jackson. At this stage, Smith's long-term prognosis is uncertain, but updates will continue to be provided as new information emerges about his recovery and potential involvement in wrestling moving forward. In other news, the highly speculated matchup between UFC lightweight champion Islam-Khamzat and middleweight contender Khamzat Chimaev has been firmly ruled out by Islam's manager Ali Abdelaziz. Speaking in a recent interview,
this will never happen. First of all, Khamzat is too big. I don't think he can ever make welterweight. And in a way, like, these guys, like, they know each other. I don't think, they're from the same region. And I honestly, these fights make absolutely no sense. I think if Khamzat go up and want to fight as light heavyweight, maybe make more sense. But in a way, Khamzat have so many contenders to clean out the division before even he thinking about moving to a different weight division. You know what I'm saying? You have to be fair to all the contenders. And I think he will defend his titles. But, and every guy's gonna bring a different challenge for him. And now he have the title, and we're gonna see how Khamzat will handle it. I think he's growing now. I think he have good people around him. I think he's gonna do very well. But also, you have Fluffy, is a killer. You have RDR, is just a very hard guy to fight. You have Imamov. You have a lot of guys coming up, And everybody bring a different challenge. But right now, you cannot deny him. He's the best middleweight on the planet. It's not even a question.
Daniel Cormier, former UFC champion and current analyst, offered his take on the ongoing debate regarding a potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan, particularly in response to comments made by Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib had confidently predicted that Tsarukyan would defeat Topuria in 80% of their potential encounters, suggesting that Topuria stood little chance against him. Cormier strongly disagreed with this assessment, calling the prediction crazy.
80-20 is crazy, though. Come on, man. 80-20 is hard when anyone's fighting. 80-20, the only time 80-20 could be thought of in fights has been in the case of Khabib and John Jones. They're the only people that have gone through this whole thing without losing. They are the only two. So you could have possibly said, well, yeah, it's probably 80% that guy's way, because they never lose. But guess who else has lost? Ilia Topuria. So to put him on the opposite side of that 80-20 is crazy to me. I don't believe that for 1 second. I really do disagree with Khabib on that one. That's one that there is not a guy in the world that I believe is going to beat Ilia Topuria 8 out of 10 times. That's just the truth.
Adding another perspective to the same discussion, UFC lightweight Renato Moicano gave his opinion on the hypothetical clash between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan. Speaking in an interview with a Brazilian journalist, Moicano dismissed the idea that Tsarukyan was the superior fighter. Instead, he stated that Topuria would dominate Tsarukyan in almost every scenario, suggesting that Tsarukyan is not as skilled. As many analysts and fans believe, Moicano was blunt in his critique, adding that Tsarukyan is not someone he personally admires, and even going so far as to say that he would not want to be friends with him. His comments provided a stark contrast to Khabib's earlier prediction, underscoring how divided the MMA world is when it comes to evaluating the strengths of these two rising stars. Moicano's take added fuel to the conversation, with fans now seeing a range of respected voices taking taking vastly different positions on whether Topuria or Tsarukyan would prevail if they were ever matched against one another inside the UFC octagon. UFC. President Dana White made headlines for an unusual reason after participating in a demonstration involving fighting robots in China. Playing the role of referee, White stepped between two gloved-up humanoid robots designed to simulate combat. During the demonstration, one of the robots nearly struck White, creating a humorous yet eye-opening moment that showed just how unpredictable this type of technology can be. While the event was intended to showcase the future of artificial intelligence and robotics in the sporting world, it quickly gained attention online due to the sight of the UFC's CEO almost being accidentally hit. Though lighthearted in nature, the moment sparked conversations about the potential role AI might play in the UFC sphere in the coming years, whether through training tools, promotional content, or even entertainment exhibitions like this one. White himself appeared to take the incident in stride, but it became one of the standout viral clips associated with his ongoing efforts to expand the UFC's global footprint. Another update came from UFC lightweight Dan Hooker, who has recently returned to sparring after the hand injury that forced him to withdraw from his scheduled UFC 313 fight against Justin Gaethje. Hooker shared footage from one of his sparring sessions, in which he appeared in good spirits and showcased his typical lighthearted personality, joking around even while training. This marked an important step in his recovery, as fans had been eagerly awaiting news on when he might be ready to return to competition. The New Zealand fighter, known for his toughness and entertaining fighting style, looked sharp despite the layoff and showed no signs of discomfort in his injured hand. His return to sparring has been welcomed by fans and analysts alike, who hope to see him back inside the octagon in the near future. The footage reassured supporters that Hooker is once again on track with his career, and it reminded the MMA community of his resilience and determination to remain a top contender. Rampage Jackson, former UFC champion and one of the sport's most recognizable personalities, recently revealed a deeply personal and tragic detail about his family during a live stream. He disclosed that his son Raja's mother had been murdered, an event that has had a profound effect on Raja's mental and emotional health. Rampage admitted that his son has not been the same since the incident and that he has struggled to cope with the loss.
This don't got nothing to do with nothing that's going on. But all I'm going to say is that my son hasn't been the same since his mom got murdered. It hasn't. And I know that. And I've been trying to be there for him and, make him laugh and cheer him up and everything. But I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what the fuck to do. And, I know my kids. He hasn't been the same. With me, he's just been distant from me. He want to be more of a man and more of this.
The revelation shed light on the possible reasons behind Raja's struggles and behaviors, while also highlighting Rampage's own vulnerability as a father navigating a heartbreaking situation. Rampage's emotional admission received a wide range of reactions from fans and viewers. While some expressed sympathy for the tragic circumstances, others criticized Rampage for discussing such a sensitive issue publicly on a live stream. Critics accused him of using the tragedy as an excuse for Raja's actions, with some suggesting that Rampage should handle such matters privately rather than in front of an online audience. One fan wrote that they found it inappropriate for Rampage to talk about his son's struggles in such a public way, while another went further, claiming that making these admissions online could encourage Raja to avoid taking responsibility for his actions. Still, there were those who saw Rampage's honesty as an attempt to reach out and shed light on the struggles families face after traumatic loss. Regardless of the division in opinion, the comments reflected how public figures in MMA are often scrutinized not only for their athletic legacies, but also for how they handle personal and family challenges in the public eye. That's all for today's MMA News. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news, you can subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.